Equivalent fractions are fractions that are worth the same. They'll have different numbers, but they're worth the same amount. I'm going to talk about it in terms of cake. If I've got a half a cake, that's the same as 2/4. And it's the same because I've multiplied this number, the numerator by 2 and the denominator by 2. I've multiplied by the same number. What it really means is that 2/4 of a cake is the same as a half a cake. A half a cake means I've cut it up into 2 pieces and I've got 1 piece. 2/4 means I've cut up into 4 pieces and the pieces are smaller, but I've got 2 of them, so I've got more pieces. That means I've got the same amount of cake. I could also multiply by 3. So if I multiply the numerator and the denominator, the top number and the bottom number, by 3, I'll get 3/6. I could multiply by 4. If I multiply both the numbers by 4, I'll get 4/8. All these fractions are worth the same amount. Cutting a cake up into 8 pieces and eating 4 is the same as cutting it up into 6 pieces and eating 3. It's the same as cutting it up into 4 pieces and eating 2. It's the same amount. We call all these equivalent fractions. Here are some fractions for you, and I'd like you to try and find an equivalent fraction to each one. There are lots of equivalent fractions, so don't panic if you don't get the same ones as me. So stop the video now and have a go at doing some equivalent fractions for these fractions. When you're ready, start the video again and see if they agree with mine. Here are my answers. With my answers, I've multiplied each fraction by 2 and then by 3, the numerator and the denominator. For 5/10, I divided the 5 and the 10 by 5 to get a half. All the fractions in one row are equivalent. You might have got different fractions for your answers, but just stop the video now, check your answers, and if you're not sure, watch the rest of the video to see how I got mine. Here are my answers. If I multiply the first fraction by 2, the numerator and the denominator, I get this answer, 6/8. If I multiply the second one by 2, I get 10/20. The third one, 6/16. And the last one by 2, I get 20/26. I could also multiply them by 3. So the first fraction, 3 times 3 and 3 times 4, gives me 9/12. For the second fraction, 3 times 5 and 3 times 10 gives me 15/30. For the third fraction, 3 threes are 9 and 3 eighths are 24. And for the last one, 3 tens are 30 and 3 13s are 39. And there's lots more you can get. For example, for the middle fraction, I could have divided them both by 5. If I divided them both by 5, I'd get 1/2, because 5 divided by 5 is 1, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So all these ones in this row here are equivalent, they're worth the same amount. If you're not sure about any of these, or your fractions aren't on here, you could check with your teacher.